Suffering from serious intelligence gaps, and the Pentagon is having real problems in assessing how effective the strikes have been, be it in Iraq or be it in Syria. Michele Bachmann, member of the House Intelligence Committee, with me in studio, and nice to see you in New York.
Good to see you, Phil.
Good day. Do you agree with Mr. O'Reilly right there that the president would rather have this issue not on his plate, but yet it is here front and center?
Well, yeah, no question, because the President of the United States ran in 2008 on the fact that Iraq was the bad war, Afghanistan was the good war. He, as president, was going to end the bad war. He feels like he fulfilled his promise. So for the President of the United States, his view went according to his plan. The only thing is, reality clashed with the president's fantasy view. And so by failing to leave the residual forces in Iraq, we saw the rise of Baghdadi and the Islamic State, and that began with all of the car bombs and the breaking out of prisoners out of terrorist jails. So now we have the situation that we have today.
I think it's intriguing that Syria is now the bad war and Iraq is suddenly becoming the good war again. When you look at this coalition, it doesn't appear to be the coalition of the willing, it's only the slightly willing. Australia sent 2 unarmed planes, one of which was a refueling plane to fight the battle in Iraq. Nothing in Syria. What are we to make of this?
Because this is now kabuki theater. This is kabuki theater rather than war. I think Bill is right that the President of the United States doesn't want to engage in war. In fact, I think if you look at the President, it's almost as though he thinks war is obsolete and war is passé in the 21st century. He sees this as a law enforcement effort akin to breaking and entering. The fact is, that isn't what it is. This is not only embarrassing, this is tragic with tragic consequences. This would be laying the groundwork for the beginnings of a World War III. Now, that's a dramatic thing to say, and I don't want it to be. But when you have bad guys with bad intentions, you have to stop them immediately. You don't play around. Right now, the president is not taking this seriously, and we're seeing tragic consequences because of it.
2 more points. Intelligence gaps are alarming. And inhibit the Pentagon's ability to determine effectiveness of the strikes.
And that's easy to see. Why?
You're on the Intelligence Committee.
Right.
Few, if any, human spotters are on the ground assessing the results of these airstrikes.
That's right. There's 3 things that we're missing that we historically have in war. We normally have air bases. We don't have them. Even our NATO partner, Turkey, is turning us down for air bases. So we don't have air bases. We don't have the kind of technology on the ground that we had in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's missing. Third, we're missing the human intelligence that's absolutely vital. It is nowhere on the ground. We are at a supreme disadvantage. So these airstrikes are very expensive, very costly. Civilians are getting killed unnecessarily because we can't prevent it, because we're missing what we need on the ground.
So, pointed question then. In the briefings you have had now, can you tell us publicly whether or not we are having an impact on ISIS today, be it in Iraq or Syria? Are we knocking them back? Do we have them on the run? Or are they just going underground to pop up another day?
We have an impact, but we're having a far diminished impact than we could if we decided to be serious and take them on full frontal. Because the president wants to put the finest military on the shelf, the American military, and instead use something else. We're not able to be effective. It is far better if we get this done quickly with less loss of life.
I've got to run, but I've got one last question for you. Do you believe the facts were there and plain to see for the president for the past year? Or not?
Absolutely. This was a policy decision on the part of the president. See what was in front of his eyes. It wasn't for lack of information. We all knew about it for years. We saw it every day. In fact, behind closed doors and intel, both Republican and Democrat, we gave it to the administration and said, wake up. There's something very serious happening.
Michele Bachmann, Congresswoman, thank you for your time today. Martha.